Adamu expressed gratitude and urged the all students to remain united and continue to do more for the college.
I'm not sure that it is any longer a priority with the Federal Ministry of Education. Whatever it is they do there, it is certainly not the ideals that were the reason, the foundation for the establishment of unity schools.
There were 19 states of the Federation then, and each state of the Federation was represented. We had things in common.
The old students feel we should give back to the school what we have taken.
Appeal to all the stakeholders to realize that this is an example which has been very successful in forging very strong bonds of unity.
Foundation is said to be very important to any means of life or structure. From childhood to adult, educationists have the impression that the best ideas and visions are laid for the individual at childhood. This perhaps was what informed participants at NTA Uyo Children's Summit as children took the stage to identify challenges of the nation's economy and make recommendations towards food sufficiency and alternative source of income. Jenny Bassi reports.
Researchers and scientists develop processing technologies in order to curtail the perishability of crops and add value to crops.
Agriculture provides food for the citizenry. Hunger will be eliminated and everyone will have what to eat. Well-fed citizens are said to be healthy and productive citizens.
Their views were varied, but the focus tended to one thing: going back to the roots. Agriculture, a sure way to self-reliance. The children boldly and confidently expressed their views. For them, there is no controversy to the fact that agriculture, if given the needed attention, will be the mainstay of the nation's economy. They reeled out their testimonies to buttress their points that farming remains the gateway to food sufficiency.
My father, who was the breadwinner of the family, died when I was in primary 1. My mother was helpless and hopeless because she was a mere housewife. But because she went into agriculture, the cultivation of crops and poultry farming, she has been able to send the seeds of her children to school through the proceeds from the farm.
Nigeria's agricultural sector has enormous potential for the good of man and its country, and it is not an understatement to say that agriculture is a sure way to self-reliance.
Other guests at the event, including the wife of Akwa Ibom State Governor, who was represented, proposed the need to promote agriculture through increased supply of improved seedlings and other farm inputs.
We need to wake up to go back to agriculture. Our oil reserve is dwindling.
The General Manager, NTA Uyo, Mrs. Patricia Jumono, assured that NTA will continue to make useful contributions to national development.
The aims of the summit are to give the government and stakeholders feedback from the children on issues affecting their well-being. It's also to encourage the spirit of creativity amongst the children, to mention but a few.
At the end of the speech-making event, Police Secondary School Ukana emerged the overall winner of the secondary school category, while Christ the King Nigerian Primary School took home the overall prize in the primary school category. The children also spiced up the event with a cultural dance.
A good step in the right direction. Children are the future of our nation. Shareholders of Ashaka Cement Company will have a better reason to affirm their trust in the company, even as the organization merges with Lafarge Africa, a leading cement company on the continent. Management of Lafarge and shareholders of the winding Ashaka Cement Company rose from the extraordinary general meeting, the last one for Ashaka, in agreement that the share swap decision was in accordance with the 2 weeks time frame given for the conclusion of the transaction. Lien Katung Babatunde has the details.
naming the numbers from locations across the country, cheering, pointing out and marshalling their positions with a view to laying to rest the matter at hand. The journey of Ashaka Cement's withdrawal from the Nigerian Stock Exchange began June 5, 2017 after it opted for voluntary delisting. With Lafarge taking over major stakes in the company, the management took time to assure shareholders of the security of their investments.
Some financial restructuring, it will give us just more strength, and all shareholders, Ashaka ones, previous Lafarge Africa ones, being part of the same family, will just enjoy by getting united. We will all be stronger.
We have 14 million ton capacity in total, and we have a story of recovery. Also, what we offer to them is an improvement of the liquidity of the shares.
With over 20 million shares in the voting process, either by proxy or in person, almost 100% casted in the affirmative, and Lafarge says it will not relent in the corporate social responsibility of the now defunct Ashaka Cement.
The Ashaka brand has a 40-year heritage, and we intend to keep it.
And we are able to even consider an expansion of Ashaka because of the confidence we have in the security agencies that the government has supported us with the declaration of Ashaka Sem as a national treasure and security asset of Nigeria.
But for the shareholders, their confidence is high and they remain optimistic better days lie ahead.
So as a shareholder of the company, I am very happy, and I hope the dividend will increase.
The most important thing is that nobody will be losing out, because shareholders of Ashaka will now go to a bigger Lafarge, and anytime you come, you can assess your investment in a bigger Lafarge.
Lafarge Africa, an arm of the French giant with these renewed vigors, seeks to ensure it becomes the first choice in cement for not only Nigerian households but the world at large.
Another break is on cue. Let's take it and we'll be right back.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
When you have a mother that doubles as a confidant and prayer partner, nothing explains the deep sense of loss and pain that comes with her death. This is the case of the children of the late midwife and nurse, Chief Elizabeth Olere Momo, as they remember her sacrifices that kept them in school and made them a success today. Her children, including the chairman, Eco Electricity Distribution Company, Charles Momo, and the zonal director, NTA Benin Network Center, Mrs. Pauline Igbano, gave her a befitting burial. Mohammed Abdulkadir brings footage of the ceremonies that left the people of Fuga talking.
The passing from glory to glory of Mama Elizabeth Olere Momo at 83 was no doubt a painful reality, but the courage of bearing the pains encouraged the children to put together befitting burial activities for a mother in a million. From the service of song in Lagos, action shifted to Fuga in Edo State. Like never before, Fuga in Isako Central Local Government area of Edo State became marker of a sort to a cross-section of Nigerians who converged on the ancient community to pay their last respect to the deceased. The burial activities, which fulfilled all righteous rites, started in Fuga with regal mass held at the family compound of the departed octogenarian.
Give them eternal rest, O Lord. May your light shine on her forever.
Of course, the well-attended funeral mass at the Christ the King Catholic Church for the peaceful and restful repose of the deceased featured Bible reading, rendition of hymn, songs of farewell, and prayer after communion. As expected, rite of committal at the graveside ignited betrayal of emotion. The rich culture of the people of Fuga was on display at the colorful traditional rites of passage, throwing the community into a festive mood described as carnival-like in honor of late Mama Elizabeth.
In difficult times, you go to my mom, she tells you, go and pray. As a matter of fact, I call her my prayer partner.
She was like a missionary on a mission to save women and children.
I am proudly her look-alike, and I'm very proud of that, in her generosity, in her encouragement and mentorship of people.
She took the money home and shared it to the people that she thought were a little bit financially deprived at Christmas. I thought that was the most exciting moment in her life.
She was a wonderful woman, very generous, kind. We just thank God for her life.
She was just a naturally nurturing person. So just her being there was just a comforting something to your soul. So I would think I'll miss that the most.
Guests, including the Secretary to the Edo State Government, Osarodion Ogie, who represented Governor Godwin Obaseki, and the representative of the NTA Director General, Mohammed Ibn Yakub, graced the entertainment with a live band artist, where NTA, as well be by staff, cannot pass unnoticed.
You could see NTA staff from virtually all Nigeria, even people who have retired.
And these are some of the things we see in her children, especially the Zedi Benin.
All the good virtue they mentioned about her rubbed on her daughter, because her daughter too is like a mother in the office.
A good life, she's in a better place. They should live with the pleasant and beautiful memories.
The climax of the burial activities was the Thanksgiving service.
Burial for a dear one. May her soul rest in peace. So far, so good. This is where Newsline will call it a day, or should I say a night. As always, we appreciate your company and look forward to next week. Thanks for staying on the line all the way. Good night, and God bless Nigeria.